From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update. Your weekend weather update is made possible by Caltrans District 2.
Hey folks, this thing is looking amazing. From 22,000 miles up, this system really looks fantastic. You can see the amazing swirl in it. And of course, we're on the southeast side of the system, the bottom right quadrant, if you will. And we're getting that instability, that moisture up into the area. That's why we've been highlighted for the possibility of thunderstorms across the area by the Storm Prediction Center. All of the North State, extending way far south, way far north, way far west, and of course, way far east, right? So all of us are probably going to hear some thunder when all is said and done. But then, of course, we have the more robust snow levels dropping down to 3,000 to 4,000 feet today. So yeah, Futurecast here paints a pretty reasonable picture. We're going to be seeing this push east with time here through the rest of the day. Notice those pretty heavy downpours, thunderstorms likely across the area. Heavy snow possible at times as well whenever you're getting into that freezing layer, 3,000 to 4,000 feet. Some mixed slushy stuff too there, kind of in the middle. Just going to be kind of nasty. Highest snow impacts probably going to be on either side of Highway 70 here, down by Quincy and Chester, out in the eastern mountains, and of course in some of the higher mountain passes up in Siskiyou County as well. So definitely some more treacherous conditions shaping up where the snow levels will be lower. Notice how out here in the East Mountains, right? Notice up here in Modoc County as well, snow levels also dropping there. But it's in and out pretty quickly, so I think it's going to be mostly relegated to those higher mountain passes, things like that. And I think I-5 will be mostly fine as we head over the next several hours. Now, I do think it actually becomes a lot less scattered as we head through tomorrow as well. Through tonight, we kind of linger with that thunderstorm activity, still some lingering instability, which kind of gives us the juice for those storms, right? But it becomes a lot more scattered for our Sunday. You still see some stuff pop up, sure, but it really isn't quite as impactful, not quite as widespread. And I think over the next several days, we get rid of the widespread stuff and it becomes a more scattered hit or miss type situation more than anything else through Tuesday. I think Tuesday is going to be mostly dry, but Wednesday, that's when the active pattern kicks back into full gear. Notice as we head through Wednesday, big time system swinging through here. That's going to have some cold Arctic air. Snow levels will be back on the drop. We're going to have those temperatures dropping, perhaps even some thunderstorms again with that if we get that moisture and instability up into the area. Let me show you the big picture. You see this big batch of cold air moving in Wednesday. Notice where its target is, right there through the North State. Even through the end of the week, we get this big bowling ball swirling itself right over the west coast. We're going to be on the northern side of that air temperature, and those snow levels are going to be dropping by the end of the week. So spring, yeah, not quite yet. I think we're actually going to see some cooler weather first before we get back into a kind of more warmer pattern, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at over the next, I would say, 7 days or so. Of course, this is looking out, 5, 6, 7 days. Things can and will change, but there seems to be pretty good agreement on that. Here's your marine forecast. Wave heights in the 10 to 12 foot range. I think we're going to hold that for the next, I'd say 24 hours or so. They do taper off just a little bit, especially further north up by the state line of Del Norte County, but we're still talking 8 to 10 feet. So still kind of treacherous out there, even as we continue to evolve with this system over the next 24 hours. I think they'll really start tapering off later tomorrow, later Monday, and later Tuesday, but then they'll be picking right back up, of course, as that other system comes in. Here's your daytime highs across the area. Widespread mid to upper 50s through the valley, widespread mid 50s across the coast, and of course, notice those thunderstorms through the valley along I-5 and west, and of course, the snow likely in those upper elevations for the rest of us. And then we got those 40s, even 30s there in Lassen Park. They're below freezing. So yeah, quite not necessarily what you'd expect, right, for the first week of spring. But you know what? It doesn't immediately say, oh, it's spring, guess it's time to go back in the 70s and 80s. So it's definitely kind of expected, kind of reasonable to see that wiggle room. Mother Nature doesn't read calendars, right? So we'll see how this evolves over the next several days. Of course, we're going to stay in this active pattern. So, I would say get used to it. I think that's kind of what we're going to be looking at here. So let's take a look at the big picture, because I want to show you on a city by city, county by county basis what we're looking at for the next 7 days. Now, Trinity County, here's what we're talking about. There are those mid 50s out there. Notice on the big picture, right? Tuesday again, I think we're going to be dry, right? Snow levels 3,000 to 4,000 feet over the next day or two. Really becoming more scattered tomorrow and Monday too. But then Wednesday and beyond, that's when that next system comes in. That's what I was just talking about there just a second ago. Notice those snow levels progressively dropping as that Arctic air reinforces itself as we head through midweek and beyond. So we'll be watching that. Of course, as we head out towards the coast, I think we're looking at those higher rain totals across the area. As we head through tomorrow, there are those widespread 50s across the area. Winds starting to shift out of the north, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Showers as we head through midweek and beyond. Temperatures also staying suppressed in in the 50s as we head past Wednesday. Up by Del Norte County near the state line as well. And wind, yeah, 10, 15 miles an hour gusty out there from the north and west. Widespread mid-50s there, riding all down the coast. And then we start to pick up those more unsettled conditions by midweekend beyond, with temperatures really kind of staying in steady state, really along the coast. I do think it cools down a little bit, right? We're going to be 50s, mid-50s, that kind of range, but it's not much better than what we're seeing today, tomorrow, and the next several days. So we're going to kind of stay in the steady state pattern of lower to mid-50s there along the coast. It's kind of what we can expect over the next 7 days or so. Out towards Siskiyou County for tomorrow, widespread upper 40s and lower 50s up by Wairika and Hornbrook. You might see 54, 55 out there. But again, falling in line with the rest of us. Falling snow levels Wednesday and beyond. Notice those temperatures, 45, 47, 44, even 40s as we head towards next weekend. So yeah, that Arctic air definitely going to come back with a vengeance as we head towards midweek and beyond. Out towards Modoc County, yeah, I think we're going to be kind of 50-ish, right? I think we're going to be 48, 49, that kind of time frame by about midday tomorrow through 3 p.m. So yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit better out here for the next several days, right? But then boom, there you go. Arctic air, 48, 46, 43, pretty steady staircase climb down as we head through midweek and beyond. And of course, notice those snow levels again, much like the rest of us, 4,000 to 3,000 feet, maybe even by 2,500 foot by Friday or Saturday. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. But I also think the system will kind of be moving out by the weekend. So we'll watch that very closely. But again, that's a whole weekend away. I think we're going to have to keep a close eye on that and see how it evolves, because it will, that much is for sure. Out here by the eastern mountains again, this is kind of where we saw the highest impacts of this system for today, and we're going to continue to do that on either side of Highway 70 here. And of course, snow levels will be back down to 4,000 to 3,000 feet, much like this system by midweekend beyond, with temperatures staying in the 50s and even 40s as we head into that time frame there. So we'll keep a close eye on that, see how that evolves. As usual, temperature winners down here in the valley, but you're not winning that much because, I mean, yeah, sure, as we head through tomorrow, we're back in the mid 60s, but that Arctic air isn't going to yield much 60s. In fact, I think we're going to be stuck in the upper 50s as we head through Thursday, Friday of next week as well. So we're definitely, like I said just a minute ago, going to have to wait it out and see what spring has in store for us, maybe in the extended term. Hopping up north, up towards Redding, up towards Shasta Lake again, mid 60s today, reasonable bet there. But again, falling in line, we're going to see those showers midweekend beyond. We're going to see that cooler air across the area and perhaps a little bit of windy conditions as it moves in. Thanks for joining me here on this forecast update. Of course, I'll be back with you this evening for more fresh from the Weather NorCal Command Center. I'll speak to you soon.